So when it comes to the company, ticker symbol ONDS on this stock, you got two sides of the fence, as it is with any other stock. And by the way, shout out to you, Crazy Carl, for pointing me to covering on this and asking me to cover it. Shout out to you. This is for you, man. But when you look at the bull side of things, what people argue for is regarding how they've completed numerous acquisitions. They got a growing backlog. There's increase in revenue, and the company's expanding positions in numerous ways. And they're expanding with drones, robotics, ISR, and of course, artificial intelligence, and also software and autonomous systems. And on the other side, who are more bearish on this, you have investors, as mentioned, are very cautious due to the fact that shareholders have already had to fund a decent amount of capital in order to help on this complete these acquisitions with none other than dilution. And the fact of the matter is, people are worried, the shareholders of the company are worried about their position and their ownership percentage going down. And after spending some time looking at ONDS, I would say, me personally, I am treating this with more caution, and I personally wouldn't buy shares of ONDS right now, but you make the decision on what it is you want to do with your own capital. So in today's video, what it is we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking down ONDS, and specifically in what ways they have grown, what ONDS does, and why there are people that are more cautious when it comes to the stock. So if you looked at ONDS several years ago, and again, I just did a quick search talking about relating to their acquisition strategy and when it is they decided to go with this type of plan. If you looked at the company a few years ago, even as recent as 2025, you will see that management has aggressively transformed the business through acquisitions. Because as you'll see here, there are a few recent acquisitions that are included, such as with Apparel Motion, Forum Defense, Centrix, and a few more other ways of expansion and prime contractors. And even more recently, they're going to acquire their sixth acquisition of the year with Cyberhawk. Hence the headline of the article right here. And instead of them just focusing on a single product or niche, ONDS appears to be building a broader defense technology system. Now, what today the company has exposure to, as I mentioned earlier, let me just list them all again for you. It's regarding autonomous systems, ISR technologies, drone operations, robotics, military engineering vehicles, AI-enabled software, infrastructure monitoring, and last would be counter UAS solutions. And right now, management's vision appears to be creating an integrated platform that can serve defense, homeland security, critical infrastructure, and industrial customers. Now, since we're already on the article, let's talk a little bit more about the Cyberhawk acquisition. So, first off, it's going to be the sixth acquisition of the year, as I said. And this article specifically came out in June 18th of 2026. So, according to the company materials, Cyberhawk operates in 40 countries, and it already has more than 300 customers at the moment. And for fiscal year of 2027, their revenue is expected to be over $45 million. And right now, approximately 95% of recurring revenue is coming from contracts and their software subscriptions. Now, that is important because the reason why that would be important is because investors, they generally assign higher valuations to recurring revenue businesses than project-based businesses. And this acquisition, it also expands ONDS into other fields such as AI-powered analytics, and then you got digital twin technology, drone inspections, and critical infrastructure monitoring. So strategically, this acquisition does make sense and it does appear good. But the question that investors should be asking is, and no, not even should they be asking. There are investors, after doing some due diligence, doing some research, they are asking this already. And what they need an answer to is whether this acquisition will generate strong profitability and returns for the shareholders. So again, because the main concern is regarding dilution, and the thing is, dilution is never a good thing. But if a company uses that additional funding properly and manages it and allocates the capital accordingly, and it actually creates and the dilution actually creates more value for the company long term, it kind of sets the investors and shareholders at ease a little bit, because if it helps the share price go up and it helps the value of the company go up, people might be not necessarily more forgiving, but more acceptant of the dilution if that is the case. Now, another major acquisition was with Indo Moving Earth. Let's just take a quick look at that, guys. So regarding this, hold on. There we go. So yeah, regarding this, another acquisition that I'm going to be mentioning right here is regarding Indo Earth Moving. And this company, it recently secured an engineering vehicle, as you see right here, of $140 million. Quick reminder before we continue, if you're enjoying the content and want to connect with the community, check out the first link below for the free InvestQ community. And if you want access to advanced stock research and tools, the second link is a Prophecy 7-day trial for just $7. And last, if you want daily market updates and behind the scenes content, follow me on Instagram using the third link in the description. Now, let's get back to the video. And this expands ONDS beyond drones and software into military engineering and autonomous ground systems. And management believes that these platforms can eventually integrate robotics, autonomy, remote operations, and artificial intelligence technologies, so AI. And again, strategically, the pieces, they seem to be fitting the puzzle properly, and this does not appear to be some type of random acquisition activity. It seems like they're doing the right things, and management does appear to be assembling a larger defense and autonomy platform. Now, real quick, even though the thumbnail, it does show things, makes things look more bearish, and even though I'm personally cautious on the stock, we never marry a stock or an opinion, whether if it's bearish or bullish or neutral. I like to give all the facts out there. So first, before we get into the concerns mentioned in the thumbnail, let's look at the bull case of things. And let's talk about why investors are excited for ONDS, for the ones that are excited. Because one of the most important numbers that I personally found was the backlog growth. If you just take a quick look right here, ONDS, and you'll be able to see it for yourself. ONDS's backlog, it has grown to a staggering number of $457 million right now. And the thing about it is, it reportedly increased from roughly 68 million all the way up to that $457 million. And that's definitely a massive increase. Percentage-wise, I can't do it off the top of my head, but obviously that would be big percentage-wise. And management has also significantly increased revenue guidance. And some estimates now suggest that revenue, it could exceed as much as $390 million on the year. And if management could execute successfully, investors could eventually be looking at a business that is not dramatically larger than it was just a few years ago. That's the bull case for the stock. And again, it's regarding how they believe that the acquisitions are good, the backlog is converting into revenue, and now they want to be able to see if margins improve and if profitability follows as well. And ONDS has become a much larger defense technology company. So those are the bullish case scenarios and bullish case thesis for ONDS. Now let's flip it over to the bear side of things. Again, what's the big word we're talking about? What's the word in the thumbnail of the video? Ding, ding, ding. You guessed it. It's dilution. That's the main concern regarding this stock. Because based on the information that I reviewed, fully diluted shares outstanding also increased dramatically. And the company, it also raised significant amounts of capital to be able to fund these acquisitions. And it is important to understand that acquisitions alone aren't inherently good or bad by itself. What matters is whether shareholder value actually increases. And if revenue doubles, but shareholders own significantly less of the company, the benefits become less clear because investors, they're gonna be a little bit iffy about it, and they're gonna feel a little bit as if they're getting screwed over in a way. And the things that investors will be paying attention to now, and I'm not saying I'm feeling screwed over. This is not my personal opinion. Is I'm not a shareholder of ONDS, and again, disclaimer, not financial advice. But what investors should be paying attention to see what happens as they continue to complete more acquisitions is check out to see how gross margins, whether they improve or decline. Look at operating margins. Make sure you check EBITDA, earnings per share, and cash flow, because at the end of the day, revenue growth alone isn't enough for a company, because revenue can grow, but all the other financial metrics can lag behind, and profitability may not be there as well, even if revenue continues to grow, as me and you both know. So the company, it does need to prove that these acquisitions create sustainable profitability. And if it can do that, there will be, in my opinion, less caution on the stock overall. And my current view is that ONDS has become a much stronger business strategically from what it was before these acquisitions. I will give it that. And the company now has been exposing itself and has much more exposure to multiple attractive defense and autonomous technology markets. And of course, as I did mention, and we have it highlighted right here, the backlog growth has increased massively along with their revenue, and the overall vision of what they're trying to accomplish is impressive. But what I also believe is that shareholders are very concerned regarding the value of the shares, and the ownership percentage that they have right now continue to be diluted. And they're going to be asking whether or not margins can improve, can earnings improve, and can this additional outstanding shares, and can the additional funding that shareholders has been doing for ONDS actually lead to value, so that they don't feel, or they're not as worried with dilution? Because again, as I mentioned, if the company can actually execute and show sustainable profitability through these acquisitions, the shareholders of the stock would feel a little more at ease, as they are seeing that these acquisitions are leading to more value for the company long term. So what do you guys think? Comment below what it is you guys think about ONDS, and let me know how you feel. If you're a shareholder, if you're avoiding it, did you sell? Let me know. And also let me know what you want to see in future upcoming videos. And again, I love doing this content, so feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. And word of mouth referrals is what helps this channel grow more. So with that being said, guys, David with InvestQ out. Stay safe. Keep making good decisions with your long-term portfolios. And I'll see you on the next video.